everyone. Coach Sullivan here again with MJS Coaching Football. To my subscribers, I thank you, and to those who haven't yet, I really hope you do. And I also like to thank YouTube for giving me this opportunity to share some things with you. Just completed my 38th year coaching football. I was a defensive coordinator, but over that span, I've been an offensive coordinator, special teams coordinator, longtime head coach, and all of this at both the collegiate and high school levels. Today, what I'd like to talk to you about is one of our field boundary blitz concepts that we call Florida Browns. Okay, and it's actually from our Go family. So again, not subscribers. I shouldn't say again, but for the first of many, please hit that button because it doesn't cost anything and you'll have access to everything. Okay? So what I have for you today is Florida Browns blitz concept versus two wide receivers. Okay? So the ball in the hash only, and this is out of our base concept. Okay? So not subscribers. Push that button, but I don't mind telling you base means we're going to have two high safeties all the time with minimum box numbers. So first off, right, ball on the hash only. Why ball on the hash? Well, definitive landmark, number one, right, tangible, but also this is a field boundary blitz concept. Every offense I've ever gone against has definitive field and boundary tendencies, okay, by personnel groups. So as you set up your either huddle program or whatever program you're using, right, to break down the tendencies of your opponent, right, what are their field and boundary tendencies based on I got 10 personnel up top, I've got 11 on the bottom, right? And then you can set up your field boundary portion of your game plan accordingly. We always have one. Sometimes it's bigger or smaller, but there's always a field boundary part of our game plan, every game plan, which is why it's important you establish the pressures based on one, two, or three wide receivers, and they stay consistent. So Florida Browns, again, is part of our Go Blitz family, okay? But that's the reason why ball in the hash. So Florida, okay, begins with F. It means it's coming from the field. So the only time I'm going to say big field is just to make sure that we're on the same page. When ball's on the hash, to us, the wide side is the field. Okay, that's why that field corner goes to the field. Free goes to field. Okay, boundary goes into the boundary along with the whip. Okay, so I'm not going to refer to it ever for the rest of this presentation and to our players as big field. Okay, to us, that's the field. This is the boundary. Okay, so what Florida is, it's a go, and what part of our family is, it's a cross. Okay, so what that means then, I'll explain down here in number 3, but versus two wide receivers, it's going to be the outside linebacker. That's the person who's available to blitz and add to the box, which I'm working towards. Okay, and everybody else is available to cover. So huge part of our field boundary blitz concept is who's available to blitz and therefore add to the box and who's in the best position, hence available to cover. Not subscribers. If you push that button, you can have access to the introduction to the field boundary concept. Okay? So cross equals the outside linebackers executing the C crash. So again, non-subscribers, I'm not really going to get into a lot of detail, but it's very specific. So if you push the button, you have access to the whole Go family. Okay, it has its own playlist. This is what makes it the cross. The DN call side, flash B, loop C. Flash B, loop C. So that's unique. So part of the presentation today is I'll explain to you what situations, plays we would call Florida Browns versus, okay? So again, Florida begins with F. It's coming from the field. Browns, number 4, begins with B. It's coming from the boundary, okay? So we use signboard, beautiful Florida sunset, Browns helmet. Whoever is the designated person to handle our signboards for that game, I make the call. We're going field Florida. going boundary Browns. The kids know. Okay? Now, one word, whether it's Florida or Browns, is the front. We're out of our base concept. It's the pressure based on the number of receivers, and then so too, is the coverage. All of that just by Florida Browns. Okay? So then Browns, it's the same go cross blitz. It's identical except coming from the boundary. And the beautiful thing is when there's two wide receivers, it's the outside linebacker. And again, +1 in the box, the blitzer who is available will be the +1. Okay, so for today versus two wide receivers, it's going to be the outside linebacker. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is start the visual part of the presentation. Up top is the field. On the bottom is the boundary. Okay, so I'm going to start right now with the field. So ball's on the left hash. Okay, I don't mind telling you this, non-subscribers. The secondary, when the ball's on the hash, it's automatic. Field and free, go to the field. Boundary and whip to the boundary, right? Think of the names. Field, boundary. They're different body types, different types of players, as are the whip and the free. It's a whole other presentation, non-subscribers. All right? So today, this is versus 10 personnel, right? Sorry. One back, no tight end, so 4 wide receivers, okay, with ball on the hash. So this is, for us, the rule. Not subscribers, I don't mind telling you. This would be a rip because it goes to field. Balance formation goes to field, okay? So it's going to be a rip. I just tell the kids we're going from the field, they're screaming Ringo. They know it's a field boundary concept. They don't know which blitz yet. And then Florida. So they're saying Ringo, they know that. They also know it's Florida, so it's the cross, but they don't know yet who's blitzing. Now the offense lines up, and so let's just assume it's not an up-tempo. It still could be no huddle, but offenses all tend to look to their sideline, right? So this, okay? So whether it's huddle or whether it's no huddle, it's a regular tempo to answer that question. So now they come out. We see 2 wide receivers. So here you go, non-subscribers. They're both 5 yards or wider from the tackle. So now you're going to get Reno. That's the code name for the rover. Reno. And that's all he has to say because he already knows he's part of the cross. Okay, this is the beautiful thing. So before I even go any further, in order to put in any of our field boundary blitz concepts, we have to have installed them all already. So you don't put in the field boundary portion of your package until you've gotten in your plugs, your goes, your combos, and your dogs. So this is later on in the spring and or preseason. But the best part is once they're installed, they don't change. Okay, they do not change. So therefore, it doesn't necessitate as much practice time in season. And that's the best thing. Your kids are so ready up here to play fast, they can play really fast with their feet. All right? So here we go. He screams, Reno. So now we understand who's blitzing. Reno, and the Ringo now triggers Roger. And so the safeties are screaming trio. That's not known. I know it was already up there, but it's not known by the defense until they see how many wide receivers are, which tells them who's blitzing, right? So for us, anytime it's a defensive back or an outside linebacker, it's going to be trio. Okay, so this is not a red zone goal line situation. It's outside of our 20, so 80 yards of the field, okay? So that being said, all I want to cover with trio, so non-subscribers, you're going to have to hit that button, is, okay, you'll see they're all hot, right? Corners are hot on 1. Outside linebacker away from the calls, hot on 2. Inside linebackers are comboing the running back. Not sure why I had them comboing the quarterback, but they're comboing the running back. And I'll explain what the static means as we go through the presentation. So they're in a maybe combo. I'll give you a little bit more. Okay? So I'll take care of the rotation of the secondaries in due time. All I'm going to say, non-subscribers, they're all still reading surface for run pass. When it's pass, they're hot on their receivers. Zone blitz coverage. You push the button, you can get all you want from it in the playlist. So now, right? It's Reno. We've established that. It's Ringo. It's Roger. Here we go. On the snap of the football, okay, this is what we call a detached outside linebacker. He does not hedge. He doesn't change his stance, so there's no alert to the receiver who then alerts the quarterback. On the snap of the football, remember, he is a C crash. He heads to his aiming point, butt of the tackle. He is going first. So here's, I don't mind telling you, when an offense has a tendency. So what we would do in huddle, in the formation column, we would say 10 gun Detroit big field, which means halfback is offset to the field. Okay? It's an east call, yes, but the halfback's offset to the field. So therefore, the tendency has been they want to run zone read or RPO. This would be why we'd call Florida. Okay? So now, that's what he does in a C crash. He's first. That means he is dive. Okay, halfback goes in. He's going to bend to the dive. Okay? So now, in blue, I'll take care of the defensive end call side. What is meant by? See how we accomplish all this off the bat? Flash B, loop C. Okay? On the snap of the football, he is going to take a lateral step, hard, self, flash, rip, and he's got to be ready to protect himself. And the reason we have to take a lateral step is this little separation. Instead of getting into the gap, now he's guaranteed to have a lot of contact with the tackle. By stepping lateral, he's got a chance to avoid as much contact as possible. Okay? So he's going to step, rip. That's the flash, 1,000, 1,002. Now he's going to loop C. Okay, so he is second, which puts him at quarterback to pitch. So even the C crasher, if this were a speed option, now he would be dive quarterback. But when the halfback goes inside, that's what we're calling this for. He's a bender, okay, which means it's probably a keep read. So flash, we got him on the quarterback. What's meant by static, he reads the mesh. So non-subscribers, sorry, you're going to have to push the button to get the details. But he reads the mesh. If the quarterback doesn't have it, he folds in for the dive. If the quarterback does have it, he's now another quarterback, guys. So see, we got 2 on the queue. Okay, we got 2 on the queue. And we're kind of dictating the read. So now, okay, that's the cross. And that's why we would call it. On the snap of the football, he screws down. He's hot on 2. Okay, snap of the football, he rotates middle third. So the safeties are spinning in the direction of the blitz. What's meant by maybe, okay? They're playing their keys. So their keys are showing run. They're reacting to the run. If it's a definitive pass, maybe Mike and backer combo the running back. Maybe he comes to you. Maybe he comes to me, right? But that's why we say it, maybe. Okay, we won't know who's got him until surface tells us it's pass and then where the back goes, right? Again, the offensive scheme's telling us what we need to do. All right, but that is Florida, and that's how we run it. That's why we might call it, right? Even if it was pistol, we'd still run it because there'd be a reason why, some kind of an RPO again. All right, it's all predicated on, again, field tendencies of the offense. So now down here, again, the best part versus 2 wide receivers is who's available to blitz. So before I get to that, remember, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, minimum box numbers, but now here comes your +1. The rover, he just added to the box. Woo! Okay, boom, done. versus 2 wide receivers. The outside linebacker is available. So now in Browns, this is a fib. It's versus 11 Dallas, right? So now formations into boundary fib. It's Liz. Doesn't change anything that we're doing. So it kicks in. It's a lucky. Okay. It's you hear Daytona, his code name. Now that should trigger Louis for the rotation. He already knows it's a Browns because I've signaled we're coming from the boundary. We've pointed to the helmet. It's Browns. Okay, so all he has to say is Daytona. Right? See, it's still a maybe. He's hot on tight end. Hot one, hot one. He's going to be hot too, as you'll see, because it's a Louis, right? Ball snapped. There he is. Again, C crash. DN call side. Flash B. Loop C. So he's first. He's second. Same scenario, right? Dive the quarterback, right? Pitch the quarterback for speed option. Okay, so again, there's some kind of a tendency, whatever it is, for us to want to call it coming from the boundary. So now on the snap, he's screwing down, so he can be hot on 2, and on the snap, he's rotating middle. There it is. Boom, done. So now, right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-man box became a +1, a 7-man box. And see, it's the number of wide receivers that made us say we're going to blitz the outside linebacker. Because when there's 2, he's available to add, and we can cover it up because we got 2 high safeties. Woo! So as I said at the beginning, to my subscribers, I thank you, and I'm hopeful non-subscribers are making the point. Right? It doesn't cost a penny. To everybody, please reach out to me at coachmjsullivan@gmail.com. It's starting to happen, and when it does, I'm learning a lot of football. I hope I'm helping the other person on the side of the screen because this is what this is about. And again, I thank YouTube for making this all possible.